pushing my limits and all the drive that I have. Well, I'm going the distance with you. I didn't know what I had till I knew what was missing, and everything that I dread. Well, I built a resistance with you. Catch me when I fall, and I'll keep you on the ground. You were gone, I wish you'd stay. I could look at you for days. Time was well spent, that's when I knew that I need to spend my life here with you. Take your time, not in the fast lane. I understand that you've been broken too many times, but I'll be waiting to mend your wounds from all you've taken. But if we listen to each other, admit our mistakes, then I can show you who I am, because I'm not the same. I'm better with you. I'm better with you.
Alright, so we are not streaming on Twitch.
No? So you doing some multi-streaming, and I don't know, probably a week ago.
Yeah, so, you know, we haven't multi-streamed in a while. A really long while. I figured why not? So, we're streaming to the usual 3, but there is one that they added that I did not realize, and not putting a lot of stake in it, but I'm streaming there as well, is Twitter. Twitter actually has a streaming platform now. Yeah, I don't know either, man. For some reason, Twitter has a streaming thing. It's a left-wing pile of garbage anyways. With that being said, we are streaming right now to DLive, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You know, DLive, I think, being our home away from home. We haven't given DLive a lot of love.
It's a solid platform.
Well, you know, I feel like it's more for the little guy than Twitch will ever be. And DLive is the only one out of all the platforms we've ever streamed to that has featured us. I'm not sure if were you there for that when we were featured on the DLive page?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, we were like right on the landing page, man. Like you type in dlive.tv, and we were front and center right on the main page. It was awesome. You know, that's what Twitch does, but for the, you know, left-wing, mentally deficient, hair-colored nonsense fucking pieces of shit. Oh, did I say that too loud? We're on Twitter right now. I probably can't say that.
Oh, well, they can ban us.
I hope so. Oh, dude, Twitter is... You don't know how bad Twitter is until you look on it now. Like, I never really paid much attention to it. We do have a Phoenix Ignition account on there. And that's solely just to get links out to people. But man, dude, like, I cannot believe the level of mental SOS on that platform. I mean, like, it's almost like before you download the app on your phone, they ask you if you're like a left-wing Biden-loving hussy. And if you say no, they won't let you download it. That's how fucking bad Twitter is. You hear that, Twitter? I hope you've got some algorithm that's tuning into what we're saying right now. If you have Twitter on your phone, you should pull us up. I'm gonna head over there right now.
I actually do not have Twitter on my phone.
That's not a bad
I
thing.
don't ever use it.
Dude, it's literally a fucking... Tweets are nothing but people whining. Whining and trying to feel mentally superior by not being anything other than left-wing. That's what Twitter is. That's what a tweet is. A tweet is people just vomiting their horse shit. Oh, I'm looking at us right now, though, on Twitter. Oh, the irony. I love it. We're complaining about Twitter on Twitter. So great.
Honestly, my favorite social media platform is Instagram.
We do have an account on Instagram. I haven't been on there in a while, and I thought Instagram had a streaming platform. But the problem with Instagram is it's owned by Facebook now. And we do have a...
Yeah, and I don't even mean as far... I just mean as far as the content that kind of floods your face. Facebook's horrible. Twitter is as bad, if not worse.
Worse.
And on Instagram, I just feel like... Now, I don't know how to say this. Like, Facebook and Twitter, you're bombarded with bullshit you don't want to see. And I feel like, however Instagram does it, now I don't use the, like, I don't know, you got your homepage, but then you got the thing that, like, will show you other accounts and things you might be interested in. I don't really use that. I just scroll what people have posted. I'm not inundated with the bullshit that I seem to be inundated with on Twitter and Facebook especially. It's not political, it's not... Now, I mean, sometimes, and they gotta put their little fact-checking bullshit on, but I don't know. As a whole, I feel like you see more stuff you want to see on Instagram. I also have the smallest following and follow the smallest amount of people on there than I do Facebook, and I just flat out don't use Twitter anymore. So I don't know. I just feel like it's better from like a hobby standpoint. Like, I've made a separate knife account, and that's kind of the only account I use now. And yeah, it's...
Well, from a
I
conceptual
sound really
standpoint...
nerdy to it, you know, people that aren't into it, but it's... You can find your niches and your groups that you're into and be in those circles without bullshit on the periphery entering in on Instagram better than their social media sites. I don't know.
No, I agree. Well, like I was saying, from a conceptual standpoint, Instagram is like Twitter with pictures. I mean, there is definitely the bad corners of it. I don't go on there like I used to. With the Phoenix Ignition business page on Facebook, you can actually connect your business Facebook and your Instagram into one account. Taco pretty much has full control of that. But you can post identical posts on both at once with that combined business account. So we were using Instagram heavily for a lot of visual advertising. You know, when Taco would post his memes that he would make for us whenever we were streaming, he would post those memes on Instagram. It was more of an Instagram thing than a Facebook thing. So it definitely has its uses. But we've been so dormant, and you know, Phoenix Ignition has really just been nothing as of late. And I got to figure out a way to get us back on track. I know Jacob is working on getting the D&D side of things back up via Neverwinter, which is going to be far easier to run than his board game using, you know, Phoenix Ignition. But I don't know.
How, on a different...
Hold on, I need to let more light in here.
Threads.
I feel like if there's natural light outside, I should let that in as opposed to turning lights on.
It has just been absolutely gorgeous here for like a week now.
Yeah, it's pretty nice right now. It is 68 indoors. We are at 46 right now. It was 60 the other day. Most of our snow is gone. But yeah, it's nice. And then, you know, we got daylight now until 7 o'clock, which is a big deal. You know, on those shorter days when, you know, when you're in like late December and the sun goes down at 3, you feel like your day is just gone.
Yep.
Like the day just doesn't exist. Then you get into fucking July where it gets light out at 3 in the morning, throws you into a panic every morning because you think you're late for work or late to catch a flight. You know, late to catch Josh's flight. That was canceled anyways. Anyways, what were you saying?
I was just going to ask how the weather was up there, because, my God, man, it's been like, of course, it's officially spring now, but
Yeah.
my goodness, just perfection.
Yeah, it's really good. So we've been going 63 and then 50, you know, so it's hovering between 50 and 63. It's not freezing.
Perfect.
It's not freezing overnight now. And all the snow is gone except for in those weird places, like the places of buildings that are shadowed most of the day. So we're pretty much out of it. But boy, yeah, the other day it was 65 when I was driving home from work, and it was perfect. The windows were down. You have that spring smell. It was glorious. So yeah, what were we talking about? Oh, Phoenix Ignition.
I assume you guys got, you guys must have perishable inventory coming soon.
This Monday. Is it? Yeah, this Monday.
tomorrow?
So a week from a week from today. So we're in week 4. Those are usually a rough week for me because I have to work a longer stretch.
I have been in meat department.
Well-
Let me tell you something. What a joke meat department is.
In what way?
I've never been so bored.
Well, that's not what I hear about our meat
Ow.
department.
Well, they like to complain. They just have the toughest jobs in the world, and nobody's qualified to cut meat, you know. You know, we have, I'm sure just like Chopper still has the meat apprentice program, you know, ours is, what is it? 22 weeks? Forget how long the training program is, but you sign a contract. It's a 2-year contract. Basically, be a first cutter. But my goodness, man! I mean, we have a pretty big fresh meat case.
Yeah, ours is gigantic. Like it's huge.
Yeah, so it depends on the store. Now we have several different varieties of steaks. Fresh sausage that we make, burgers that we make, chicken, all kinds of things in the fresh case that they hand trim and make. And then there's a seafood case attached. Now, in the store that I used to be at all my years, we were a super flagship store, so we actually had a much bigger meat counter and a dedicated seafood case with a dedicated seafood manager. Most teeters, meat manager to market manager, he's over both.
I can see that.
You maybe have an extra assistant because, you know, it just it doesn't really need a dedicated manager to it.
That's
So-
what Jacob is. Jacob's
Yeah,
our seafood
so
manager.
If the counter constantly having to be staffed, there's always help in the meat department. And of course, I'm always extra help when I go into these departments. So it's like, Holy fuck, man. They want to try to act like cutting meat so hard. We got ribeye on sale for $9.99 a pound, which with the cost of beef right now, the cost of everything right now, $9.99 a pound ribeye, it's fucking cheap. It would have been cheap a few years ago. It's definitely cheap now. So we're selling a fuck ton of it. They were projected to do, they put a little ad planner out the week before, and it tells you how many cases you probably will sell of that product in meat department. And it's at that price. They expect you to have 30% of that on hand on your first truck. So they said 10 cases, and those cases are between 60 and 80 pounds.
Yep.
But you know, they just come in the loins, the full loins, cut them into steaks. The ones that are behind the counter in the fresh case are super thick, like at least 2 inches thick. They're like a mini fucking roast. And after they slice them, you just trim the fat, and it's literally 2 cuts on each steak, dude. It's just funny because, I mean, meat department, yeah, they make good money. They're trained. It's a great skill to have. We're not getting in a fucking cow on the truck anymore, you know? Back in the day, you'd get a fucking half of a cow in, you'd have to break that shit down.
Well, I'm sure you also have the automatic wrapping machines, right?
So no.
Yeah, we have a really big, like...
So we
Yeah.
hand wrap it, but there's a little conveyor belt, so you'll hand wrap it. There's a screen to it. You type in the PLU for whatever you're about to wrap, or find it on the screen. You wrap it. You go over a little laser eyeball. It goes onto a conveyor belt. It feeds it down and stickers it.
Okay. Yep.
Weighs it and stickers it, and then drops it into a big circular metal thing that's on wheels. Yeah, you have to hand wrap, and I'm from grocery, man. Like, these guys are like tossing it up in the air like a fucking pizza pie and pulling the plastic at the same time. I'm like, yeah, I'm not about to drop these $50 steaks trying to do that. I'll just do it, with both hands pressed up against my stomach, trying to pull it tight. I'm getting a little better, but I mean, most of the guys that have been back there, like every meat department, have been there for years. So it's like,
it's just like
doing it all
watermelon
fast and
halves.
perfect. Yeah, well, exactly. I'm not in practice of it anymore. So, I don't know. It's a great, like, I'm trying to get Ty to go to either a Teeter or a Food Line, or go somewhere, man, and get into the meat program that they have. Like, it's get paid well. It's not like every other department where you're just pushing product. Like, I mean, it's a really good department to get into. It's a great way to move up through a company without the typical bullshit of retail. I mean, you deal with the retail element of it a little bit, but not nearly as bad as other departments, man.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating, the
Christ,
dynamics.
you're seldom even on the sales floor. You're on the sales floor very sparingly, just to fill the sections up, So, like...
So what is holding Ty back?
Every other department here, I don't know. I'm trying to get Christine's brother to do it, too, with whatever they've got in Chicago. Like, dude, if you don't know what you want to do, you don't need to go to college, man. Just graduate high school or get your GED and go to the highest end supermarket near you, get a job, see if you can get in the meat department. If not, get into something else and try to work your way over into that meat department and work your way up. Christ, I'm sure the meat manager's making more than all the co-managers are. And it helps that he's done it for 30 years.
Oh, yeah. He's in the 30s. As an hourly.
My God, man, he is just awesome. He's a prick. He hates everyone. Really hates customers.
So he's like us.
He just mumbles under his breath all the time. Like, I'm watching him write an order the other day. He's got the order guide and taking inventory in red and writing what he's going to order in blue. And this lady comes up to the counter, right? And we're probably 10 feet away. And she's asking about the fish. I don't know if it was salmon or haddock or cod. She's asking if it was farm raised, they're fresh. And the guy said, well, it's farm raised. You know, mind you, all of our signage has to have price, the country of origin, the harvesting method, if it was fresh caught. If it's farm raised, we don't have to have the harvesting method. It just has to say farm raised. But there's literally dozens of these little plastic things that you stick on your signage as far as the country, you should see the harvesting methods. There's shit I've never even heard of, man. And I shouldn't say this, but I'm going to. We were doing price changes, and he's like, oh, what should the harvest method on this one be? You know, because it didn't say. So he just picked a random harvesting method out of the fucking pile of shit.
Oh my
that's
God.
there. I can kind of understand the country of origin, okay? And I guess I can understand the difference between fresh and farm raised. Really a harvesting method. So anyway, the guy says farm raised. She still buys the fish. And the whole time you can, like, he's stopped even trying to do the order at this point. He's just side-eyeing her, shaking his head. I'm trying not to laugh because I don't really know what he's about to fucking flip out about. She leaves, and he's like, she was gonna buy the fucking fish anyway. So what fucking difference does it make if it's farm raised or, you know, harvested out of the ocean? Which difference does it make? She bought it and it was farm raised. It's not like she said, "Oh no, I can't get that. It's farm raised." It's like,
It's
yep,
so true,
you
though.
are so jaded. You've been doing this so long. I love it.
That's what we're turning into, you know.
Oh yeah, I strive to be that.
We're getting there rapidly as the days go on. And speaking of which, we got Josh Phillips here. Old
Oh.
Phillips here on the Facebook side of things. Usually you're on the YouTube side, Josh. But, I mean, obviously, as you can hear, we're just doing our typical bullshit wine session about everything that's horrible and, you know, stresses of work and this and that.
How life doesn't really change. How work pretty much never changes. How people never really change.
I'll tell you one thing. I feel bad for our boys in meat because poor Les, our meat manager, they've been getting their asses pounded on their gap closure with the way meat prices have been. Yeah, it's just...
Yeah, now, I mean, I can tell you that everything you tell me about your pressures and stresses of produce, it's not that bad for Teeter. Like the meat manager has this stuff down to an exact science now anyway. I mean, he used to be an operations manager over meat. So, you know, at one point, he was a big wig with meat. So he knows, I think it might have been with Food Line, knows everything. Teeter really, man, does not harp. You will not get fired over bad inventories. It's not going to happen. You're not going to be fired over bad inventories. Now, with seafood, he told me this one of my first days back there, watching him do his very first inventory. So that would have been like 2 months ago. He said, if you end up, he's like, there's not a lot you can do for meat department as far as helping. Said, but one thing you can do is if you get into a store, and especially if it's a seafood and meat department that maybe has new people, maybe they haven't been in the business very long, or maybe they're not very good, you're not turning in good inventories. He said, go into the freezer, see if they're writing the retail of their seafood on their boxes, because it changes all the time. And he said 9 times out of 10, if you're in a department that over a seafood department or meat department that's getting really bad inventories, seafood's unlike everything else. He said most of the time they're going to take all that seafood that's in the freezer, which is most seafood is frozen. They don't have the retail prices on them. So they're taking it at what the current price might be. And a lot of times, I mean, you might be losing your ass on it. Or maybe one inventory, you're way out the plus of it because making money on the stuff because of what you're taking the inventory at compared to what you got it in for. We heard a story about a seafood department that was $50,000 short, counted $12,000 of inventory just on his display case. This was 2 inventories ago, right? 12 grand. Like I said, normally your display case is going to have maybe $2,500, and that would be a huge one. Okay? So I think maybe there was some weird shit going on because the seafood manager stopped showing up.
50,000 year to date? Or are they 50,000 under for one period?
So he inventoried $50,000 worth of product for 1 month.
Okay.
If that's what his inventory was. What he actually had on hand was, I think, $12,000. They went in there.
So he inflated it by a lot.
A lot. And the question is, how does it even get to that point? Because that you would think that would be months of inflating inventories. But Mike said you would be surprised if because there's a lot of seafood in the freezer. Like in my freezer at work, there's a good chunk of seafood. And especially if you don't know how to order, or especially if you're taking inventories and you're just taking stuff at $21.99 a pound because it's gone up in price, you might have bought that shit in at $10.99. You know, that chicken's going to come home to roost at some point. But I don't know why our seafood department's so weird with inventories like that. Because everything else you get credit from corporate called declines if the sale price changes. But with seafood, it doesn't. And a lot of people have issues with seafood managers not writing the price on the box, dude. And it takes maybe 10 minutes after a frozen truck to go through with your invoices and just write the till price of the product on the side of the box.
It's
so when you do your inventory, you know what's inventoried it at.
The differences in the way we do things, similar but different. The problem that you typically run into is
you won't get fired for a bad inventory. What you will get fired for is lying about how much inventory you might have, or dishonesty in other ways. So it just blows my fucking mind, man. But people still lie.
The only real problem we have is our budget has, and Jeff is fighting with corporate on this, our budget is way too high. And that's a problem down at their end, because I have years and years worth of data that says our budget's too high. We're good for some months and we're way out for the others. And we're ending the end of our fiscal year, and they tend to get real asshole towards the end of the fiscal year because they want to account for every penny. So the problem that you run into is when you miss your budget, they send your budgeted shrink percentage and number, relative to what your sales budget is. So if you're below your sales budget, your allocated shrink is going to go down. So if your shrink is not good, I should say it like this. If you hit your budgeted shrink number, right, with your budgeted sales, but you didn't do your budgeted sales, then you're going to miss your shrink, and that's going to blow your gap closure. So unfortunately, a lot of it is out of our control because these assholes at corporate sit down and they type out a budget for a store for the entire year in one sitting. I think that's fucking wrong. What they need to do is they need to, for one thing, have a little more input from the stores because we know what we're doing, and have the budgets based month to month. Not have one moron sit down at the beginning of the year with his little nerdy glasses on, looking at past year's sales going, oh, yep, I think they'll do this. I'm just going to wing it. They'll do this. Yep, there you go. So now our fates are tied to a bullshit number that somebody at corporate who really doesn't know what they're doing as far as store level punches in these numbers, and then these fucking idiots, zone director, regional VP look at it. Oh, well, according to my calculations, if they miss this number, which isn't really based in reality, then it's got to be something wrong at the store. Am I right? That's how these people think. Right? That's where all of our stress comes from, not from what we do at our end. We do everything right. It's corporate. Corporate is the ones that do everything wrong. So we're constantly, we're at odds with each other over these little things. And it's hard when you have a budget you can't meet. It's interesting,
man, because you don't often even hear, well, dude, you don't even hear our management staff talk about budgets, Jerry. Not at the department level, not at the department manager level. I mean, it just it's really shocking that, like,
Well, this is what I have
it's
to
just
do.
a stark difference.
We have a budget that comes down every period. Our specialist sends us a budget. Jerry, you have to hit 250 grand for the period. You have 5.5% shrink to work with at 250 grand. So, you know, maybe $14,000 in
that's
shrink budget.
Great if you're not going to do 250 grand, though.
If I do 230 grand, well, that 5% of 250 is no longer. So now my $13,000 shrink budget went down to 11, 12. Okay, that's the problem that you have. And they're more focused on shrink than actually, you know, budget or gross profit margin.
Yeah,
Gross profit margins are just really wonky, and the way we look at it is after we do inventory, we have, you know, it broken down by period, by chain. If your gross profit misses your target at the store level but beats zone, then you're okay. That's the way we try to look at it, because then that tells me we're all kind of in the same boat here. If I get a gross profit margin of 38 with a budget of 40, and everybody else is at 41, 42, well, then I must have done something wrong. Either my shrink's too high, I didn't inventory a huge block of something. That makes me look like a fucking idiot, and here's hell for Jerry. But we're usually pretty consistent.
When you guys do inventory, are you entering? So, like the way we do it at Teeter, which is semi-new with our new guns that we got. We've always had an inventory recap sheet, but it breaks basically the department down into, you know, you got your salad wall, you got your dry stuff, you got your cooler, you got your, you know, apple table. It's all broken down. You count each section, put that dollar amount. We always do retail. So you would put the retail dollar amount of your, maybe it's front table, right? Or every store is a little different with how they title things, but basically it'd be like your first table or your first section, then you're breaking each section down into retail dollars, and you can see what you inventoried. For us, it's every previous period for the last year. You can kind of see if you're falling within a number that's similar, maybe if you've missed something right then and there. And then once we get that done, we enter it all into the gun when we think we're go through each section, and all the sections are in the gun broken down, and there might be 10 or 12 sections just in the produce department, and one of those is going to be the cooler. One of those is, or the rest of them are basically going to be out on the sales floor, and you can kind of keep track of where you're at versus your previous inventories, so you don't get to the end and be like, well, Jesus, man, I must have missed something and I have no idea where it could be.
Yeah, we have a completely different process. So we scan everything in the Dolphin, everything, and we go by a case. If it's half a case, you round it up to a case. So at the end of the day, you know, you pull up your missed items report, and it tells you, you know, what you had this time last period that you're not scanning here. Last day it was sold. Make sure you didn't miss anything. You finalize shrink, and then that all gets transmitted to Webster, and you look up what's called a PR40 the next day. So we always have to work the Tuesday after to verify inventory. If you miss something, you have to send in paperwork for them to adjust it. So that's where it breaks down. You have your non-perishable, your perishable, speaking from produce, where all your perishable items will be grouped together, all your non-perishables, you know, your dried shit will be separate. Then you have your total overall inventory. I know what number I need to land at a certain percentage. So at the end of inventory, if I look at that final number and it's pretty close, you know, within $1,000 or $2 to last period, I can pretty much tell you where we're going to land, gross profit wise and shrink wise. So once it's all said and done, I go on Webster, I look at it, make sure nothing's out of the ordinary, and I'll look at that final number and say, okay, so that's probably going to land us at a 39 or a 40. So we should be okay.
Interesting.
It's all about the dollars. Like, nothing else matters. It's just the number. It's not the items. It's just the dollar number. It's just the dollar number.
We're just a dollar number right now too. There is talk of us going to actual SKU inventories in the perishable departments, which is crazy to think about.
As in, you just scan the tag, right? Is that what you're talking about?
Right now, we just anything at that retail price, we can just count at that retail price.
Oh, right. Okay.
They
Yeah.
tell you should scan each item.
Yeah. I
But,
do
you know,
that
you
now.
got
I used
apples
to do
side
that
by side,
before.
and they're both $1.69 a pound. You just count, you know. But
So the way we do it, and the way I used to teach people, because actually I was teaching my assistant this, I said, preferably I like to scan every single item. If the tag's there, scan it. There's no point not to, because you have a number at the end of how many items you counted. Corporate looks at that number too. So
yep,
I said, you know, you can technically count all of these Marzetti dips under one code. The problem
Under
with
one
that
code,
is
yep.
it makes your item count overall go way down,
lower.
and then it throws up a red flag. So I said, if the tag's there, just scan the damn thing. It's not a big deal.
Yeah,
If you see less than half of 2 items in the same category, put them together, inventory them as one case, so we're not losing anything. So there's little tricks you can use to inflate your inventory a little bit, legally. But mostly, the more inventory you have on hand, if you're really heavy, it almost negates your shrink number because your on-hand assets go up. So, for example, if there's just a period where corporate sent you $5,000 worth of garbage truck to trash, which happens all the time, especially this time of year, normally that would drop your inventory by a lot and you'd miss your numbers. But if you have more on hand stuff, like hypothetically speaking, if you counted all that stuff that you threw in the trash, you'd never sold it. They think it's still in the building. If you inventory it like it's still there, that negates that loss. You just have, if you go that route, which is not what you're supposed to do, but if you go that route, you just have to be smart about it. You know, you gotta sprinkle it a little bit here and there. You can't do like 30 cases of strawberries on top of what I already have at $4.99 each. That throws up a red flag.
oh yeah.
So it's always us versus corporate. If they fuck us, we can fuck them back, and it's what is necessary. That's how you play the game. I can play the game just as well as the rest of them, my friend. But yeah,
Yeah, it's a tricky game to play. I mean,
I am the Marty Bird.
yes. Did you watch some?
I watched the whole thing.
To the current season.
I'm up to now I'm ready for
gonna be a-
part 2
Yeah, perfect.
or
Yep.
part 2.
What do you think, man? I told you it's kind of like
phenomenal. It's
a
phenomenal.
similar Breaking Bad-ish.
It's
type
Breaking
of
Bad, but in a different
look
way.
to it.
In a different way.
Yes.
If you ever found out that I was the Marty Bird of a drug cartel, I mean, would you be scared?
I don't know if scared's the right word.
Well, let's
I have an
let's
issue,
put
though,
it this
right
way.
now,
Let's
man.
put it this
Like-
way. You find out about it and you kind of blab it to myself and one other person. So you're about ready to go home from work, and a black SUV pulls up outside of Harris Teeter and just kidnaps you. And then they tie you up, and when they take the bag off the top of your head, you see me sitting in front of you. And I said, well, Josh, I didn't want it to go this way. I convinced them to not take any drastic action. But here's the choice. Do you want in? They said, if you're in, I trust you. No further action will be taken, but you gotta perform. What do you do, Josh?
I'm in, baby.
I honestly, I don't
just-
think you would be really surprised either. I think if you ever found out I was the Marty Bird of a drug cartel, you'd be like,
I wouldn't be that surprised. I would not really be that surprised.
that is hilarious.
We're watching Nip Tuck right now. Not sure if you ever watched Nip Tuck.
Boy, that's old.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I watched it in its entirety years ago.
I remember you talking about it way back in the day.
But it's fucked up, man. My goodness. It's an old FX show, but
Yep.
I just the reason I bring that up is the son really annoys me in that show. He actually looks like Michael Jackson. He's an ugly, disgusting, freak-looking dude, nasty, just ugly. His character annoys me, but he probably annoys me the most on the show. Now, the wife of one of the plastic surgeons annoys me immensely as well. And the reason I bring that up is, dude, Marty Berg's wife drives me up the fucking wall. And
Yeah,
it's not that I hate women, man, because I like the redneck girl just fine. I liked the old hag. Past tense, of course.
Oh my
'cause
God.
she's dead.
She's really shotgun heavy.
But
Dude, when she
I
killed the head
can't
of the
stand-
mafia, the guy that went into her house threatening and wanted his money, so she just like saunters into her bedroom, gets the shotgun. The hysterical exaggeration from him getting hit with a shotgun blast and like violently flying backwards, dude, I was laughing my ass off. It was hysterical because it's like these guys like completely exaggerate the effects of a shotgun blast.
Yep.
Only Marty Bird can do business with rednecks. What was that? I said, only Marty Bird can do business with. Blows his
So
fucking
what's
head
her
off.
name? Wendy? Is it Wendy?
Wendy Bird. Yep. His
Yeah,
wife.
she just, I hate her. Yeah, I hate her character. I hate how she thinks she's bad at, like, everything about her annoys the piss out of me.
She
dude.
got really irritating in
her
season
face.
2 and 3.
Yeah, like she is just, like she somehow thinks she's this big badass. Really, Marty is everything, dude.
Yeah, and she was trying to like almost take charge at one point, and Marty, you know, being the
Yeah,
cautious,
man,
critical
it's
thinker
like-
that he is, you know, is trying to, you know, talk some sense into her, and then obviously what he said was going to happen happens because of her getting too ambitious.
Right.
Typical woman move.
Yep. So I'm to the point where she just annoys me so much, it's almost hard to watch, man.
I didn't mind her in the last season because so when it comes to their children, I loved Jonah.
Dude, I hate the daughter, man.
So
Oh my god, I hate the daughter.
I fucking
I love
despised
Jonah.
her. I despised her in the first 3 seasons. Like I fucking
Me too.
hated her.
Yep.
Jonah, I absolutely loved.
The very beginning. Yeah, same.
But then Jonah started to get really weird in that last season, and my fondness for him kind of dropped a bit because he's kind of turned into
I
what
agree.
his daughter
I
was
agree.
in season 1 and 2, and it's like, come on, man, you're this smart, like nerdy, quiet, critical thinking kid with like weird shit. I kind of resonate with him, Josh. I resonate with Jonah. And then he gets like that stupid like puberty, rebellious, voice crackly, you know, holier than thou fucking bullshit.
Well, that's where the kid on Nip Tuck is, dude.
Ugh.
Oh my god, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna do this
Every time they
illegal
show his
shit, but then
face, I
have
have
a
to
hit
make a
a shit fit
yeah,
when you
just-
guys are doing the same illegal
God.
shit. Yeah, Jonah was really good in the first 3 seasons, and season 4 when he tried to like branch out from the family, like kind of set himself aside from the family and like get in with the opposing side. It's like, come on, man, stop being an idiot. And then Wendy's trying to like sabotage him, and then just makes it the whole situation worse.
King everything up.
Yeah, Dad, I got locked out of my account, which means it's flagged. I'm fucked. I need your help. Oh, well, you just need to... Blah, 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 blah. There, you're fixed. Oh, dude, amazing show, though. Amazing show.
I'm happy you watched it. I'm not saying it's on par Breaking Bad because
Well,
there's
for one
almost
thing-
a mystique to Breaking Bad. Walt's character, I don't know as if I've ever watched a show that's had as good of a main character or main 2
Yep.
characters as Breaking Bad.
Yeah, it's the cast.
I mean, Marty's character is fantastic.
Yeah, Bateman's really good.
Badassness of Breaking Bad probably will never be replicated.
No, you
Now,
know,
to that, I need to watch. I have not watched The Lawyer Show its entirety yet. I watched, I think, the first 2 seasons.
Better Call Saul.
The fuck's the name? Yes, I watched the first 2 seasons, but Ty said it gets exponentially better. So at some point, I need to sit down and restart
Yeah,
and
me too.
watch to where it's at, because the crazy Hispanic dude I know comes into that show
Yeah,
too.
it's very focused on him. It's very
so-
focused on him.
That's and Saul was, and that's the reason Breaking Bad was so good. I mean, even I want to say little side characters, but you know, even a character like Saul was the perfect cast for that
Supporting
role.
staff.
Played it perfect. I mean, every supporting supporting actor was like just casted perfectly in that show. So it probably will never be recreated. But you know, Ozark is great. I'm looking forward to the second part. It's so lame that they had to do that. You know, part 2 is already filmed.
Dude, they did the same thing with
Why do
Walking
they gotta
Dead.
do that
A lot
shit,
of shows are
man?
doing that now where the seasons are so small.
me off,
it's not like
man.
the days where you had, 25, 26 seasons, 26 episodes to
No,
a
man,
season.
Nip Tuck, they're like 18 episodes. It's great.
But now I don't know why we're on this train where now all of these, Star Trek has been doing
I
it a lot
don't either,
too.
man.
They film 10 episodes, they do 5 of them, then take like a 3-month break, and then do the last 5. And a lot of shows are doing that. It pisses me off. I'd rather have more episodes, because that typically lends to more character development. You get a further attachment to these characters. When you have these short shows,
Yes.
Star Trek is really
It's
guilty of
hard to
this.
form. It's hard to form those relationships, and especially now with streaming
Yeah.
and like not having commercial interruptions. Like, dude, I mean, like, that's what I do like about Ozark. Most of those episodes are like a full hour.
Yep.
You know, and that's great.
Dude, that show ruined me for vacation.
Man, like,
It ruined me. I couldn't stop. Dude,
it's so funny.
the ass indent on my couch was so
awesome.
pronounced that when I sat down, it was like sitting down on Pride Rock.
And I feel like when you watch a show like that, when you binge it, you get into it a little bit more than, like, we've been watching it season at a time. Now, before this last season dropped, we went back and rewatched 2.
I'm
So we
surprised
could
it
get-
was
'cause
still
there was a-
going.
There's a big gap.
I was excited because I'm like, I can watch all of it. All of it. And then I get to season 4, part 1, and I'm like, wait, it's part 1, but there's 6 episodes. I don't understand. So I downloaded it, and I watch it through, and I'm like, so, okay. So they're going to keep us on the hook for the last, I don't know, what, 5 episodes, maybe?
Right.
Oh, it was bullshit. Navarro.
The only other
Good old
trying to
Navarro.
think of the other. There's not been a ton of Netflix content that I've binged recently. You is the only other show that Christina and I really got into, and it's fucking insane, man. It's really well done.
Helen's head got
Crazy
blown off.
stalker guy.
When they go to Mexico with the lawyer,
Oh yeah.
they're at the party, Navarro's party. They're standing there, and dude, she gets her head blown off, and all of her brain meat like lands on Wendy. Like when that happened, dude, like shit fell out of my mouth. Like I'm sitting there, I'm like reclined, and I'm eating, and I'm got chips, and I'm just like, oh, this is great.
You know what
And
I'm
it
gonna get
happened
to
so
watch start to
suddenly.
finish?
It happened so suddenly, and when I saw the brain matter fly on both their faces, like shit just fell into my mouth, and I made a mess. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Love it, man. I don't even remember what I was gonna say.
I know. I mean, it was that mind-blowing, no pun intended.
Yeah, it was something Christine hasn't watched yet that we're gonna binge.
Mr. Phillips, is there anything that you've been watching on streaming if you do that sort of thing?
I've been trying to get her to watch the damn dubbed show there. What the hell was that called?
Squid Game?
Chinese show? Yes.
It's Korean.
Trying to get Ty to watch that too. I was like, dude, I haven't watched too many dubbed over shows, but
yeah, that's South Korea, and so the version I downloaded was spoken in English. There are no subtitles.
yes, correct.
And the dub was pretty well done. The characters that they got to talk
Pretty well
over
done.
was
I
very
agree.
well done. Very watchable. You know, sometimes those dubbed over shows, because
A little ridiculous.
Korean and Mandarin and Japanese, those languages convey a lot more information in less words. So when they're speaking a sentence, like they stop talking, but the guy who's dubbing the voice is still rambling on, trying to finish the sentence because of our ogre English language that has to draw everything out. No, Squid Game, fucking phenomenal. Phenomenal show. Phenomenal. The Last Kingdom, Mr. Phillips says. Last Kingdom.
I've seen that on there.
Is that a Netflix thing?
Oh, I highly recommend Catching Killers if anybody has. Dude. So, I think there's 2 seasons, but it's all about different police departments that have caught serial killers. Kind of more modern-ish. There is a dude from Canada. It's a 2-parter. It might be episode like 3 and 4 or something. Guys picking up gay dudes and killing them, right? He's not just killing them. He's also consuming them. And so they first find out because somebody reported his screen name on a website was called Zambian Meats. M-E-A-T-S. Nice little play on words. It's literally a like message board style website. There's a weird parallel to this cannibal website and gay guys. Like, I don't know if like the ultimate like subordinate like gay activity is to like have somebody eat you. Like that's so you could pick like your class, right? You could pick if you wanted to be the dominant guy that does the slicing, cooking, and eating, right? Or you could be you ready for this? What the term was called for these gay guys that wanted to be eaten?
Do tell.
Long pigs. Long pigs. Called long pigs. It's like you had a little title to your name and of course some clever little screen name, but this guy was like getting people from this website. They would fly into Toronto, would take them to this cabin out in the woods. He'd eat them.
Well, you know, we've been on this whole gay discussion, you know, for a long time, and I think most people are familiar with my stance
Just didn't
on it.
expect it.
So
Didn't expect the parallel there. Like, I did not expect there to be like an overwhelming part of the community, at least on this website, which, let's be honest, I mean, it's not like there's just huge communities of cannibals, I don't think. So like
I'll have to
a
look
good
on the dark
chunk
web
of
for
these
that.
cannibals were so I googled Zambian meats. It's no longer in service that I could find on the regular internet. So I did go to Reddit and type it in there and found a little bit of info on it. But yeah, long pigs, and I guess that's a term that's been used for a long, long, long time because for cannibals, because supposedly human meat tastes like pigs, and you know we're longer than pigs, so we're just long pigs. If you ever, you know, if you guys join a dating website or like, you know, want to be consumed, you're just a long pig.
Okay.
Isn't it weird?
That's a lot to absorb.
Why is there like that connection to the? You know, neither one of us has any issues with gay people. Be as gay as you want. Just
the issue
was
with
weird. Like, is that like the ultimate? Like, dude, you ain't gonna get off. You're gonna be dead.
the issue that I have with gay people is the gay people themselves that make it an issue, because they feel it necessary to vote Democrat and ruin the country for the rest of us. That's the only reason I hate gay people. I don't hate them because they're gay. I hate them because they have this mental deficiency in which they think that the only way they can be properly representative is to vote Democrat, because they think the Democrats have their back for some reason. Socially, it's fucked up.
I have a suspicion that there's more gays than we would think, and lesbians. And maybe it's because I'm in the South, and the lesbians that I've worked with or been around, not very liberal, man.
I guarantee
They're
it's
also
because
not
the
very
South.
they're not very outspoken. Because obviously it's like being black. If you're in that, you're in that group of people, whether it's race or, you know, sexual orientation, whatever it is, you would be looked down upon by the rest of your peers. You know, you would be that gay that isn't like all the others. So, you know, you're going to be persecuted against. I mean, you see that with black people that vote non-Democrat all the time. You know, and the gays are the same way. So,
Yep.
and honestly, I think the ones that are loudest, it's not the majority of them. You know, I think most of them want to just live their lives and pretty much be left alone, and their
that's
sexual orientation doesn't really define them. But ones that have to be super loud and, you know, think that they have to vote a certain way just to, you know, demand everybody else recognize them. I don't have any respect for those people.
Well, that is exactly why when Trump was in office, that's why there was so much hatred so visible all the time, because the people on the left, the mentally deranged, the Democrats, when they don't get their way, they're like whining children, and they fuss about every goddamn thing to the point where you just want it to stop. On the other side of that, you have people like you and me on the more, you know, libertarian conservative side, where we're not vocal like that because we're not mentally handicapped. At least I don't think we are. We just want to go to work. We want to be able to live our lives without being overregulated, having all this money stolen out of our paychecks by the federal government to squander on these pieces of shit that are loud and vote Democrat. It's just that's why it's so hard when, you know, we look at all these social media sites, you look at media, it always paints a worse picture than we think because they're the most vocal. And that's why Trump won in 2016. He didn't think he was ever going to win because people were just so vocal and outspoken about how much of a monster he was. So it's like, there's no chance. It's the silent people, you know, like us, that work for a living, that, you know, we're going to vote to better represent us in our lifestyle. And that's why they were so shocked when he won in 2016, because people like us just don't whine on social media like these fucking idiots. So that's why it's really hard to gauge things nowadays. Usually
it's
when
impossible.
When it comes to politics, I always gauge things by what I see at work, what I hear at work, because that's real life. That's happening in real time, as opposed to these social media fronts are always trying to push that leftist agenda on everybody. So, like right now, I can tell you one thing. Nobody's happy with Biden. Even, I know this is crazy, even the people that voted for him, the Democrats, most Democrats have voted for him, at least here in New Hampshire, really, really regret it. So this is going to be a very fascinating midterm election, and I think it's going to go the way of a red tsunami. Because I think a lot of people feel like this is really a fight for our lives at this point.
I mean, I would agree with that because it is.
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm really concerned because we get a lot of tourism and our sales go way up in the summer. And last summer we did really well, but I'm really digging into the logistics and the intricacies of it. And I was talking to Jeff about this. Said, I have a feeling we're going to be under last year. We're going to lose out in the summer because gas prices are expensive. No one's going to want to travel. So that's going to cut into our sales. Like, there's a lot of little things these fucking idiots don't think about. They're like, face value, oh, they'll dangle the carrot and then they'll follow the carrot. It's like, dude, high gas prices affect more than you think. It affects people that don't make a lot of money working here, that have to travel here. They're not going to be able to afford to even drive here to come to work, number one. Number two, you have all these people that spend a lot of money vacationing here. They're not going to want to travel all the way up here at $4 or $5 a gallon. So that's going to cut into our sales. Our budget's so far out of whack because our energy costs shot up. You know, so that's affecting our bottom line. And you know, if people thought like this, we wouldn't be in this problem.
Yeah, well, they
Having
don't.
a fucking idiot in the White House that's destroying us the way he is directly affects everybody more than they think. And it goes on, not just that, but at home life. Fuel oil for winter through the roof. So a lot of people felt it really hard this winter, and I think it's going to change a lot of people's minds. So when Trump was in office, and this is what I tell everybody, you know, when we vote Libertarian Republican, we do that because whenever there's a Republican in office, I never have to really worry about anything. There's nothing that they do on that platform that directly affects me negatively.
Agreed.
So the whole social thing, and people think they have to be social warriors by voting Democrat to support gays and women. That's a fallacy. Because when you get a Democrat in office, everything that we work for, our livelihoods, are directly at risk because of the way they think. It's mental derangement, and it does not work. Socialism does not work. It collapses societies. And we saw that in the one short year that we've had a socialist in office. So those 4 years of Trump, man, it was great. Like, everything was smooth. The economy was great. Gas was affordable. Man, things were just flowing. And it just blows my mind the lengths that they went to get him out, the virus included.
Agree, man.
The
Even
pandemic.
I have no doubts that we would have seen a spike in gas prices because supply and demand, even with Trump in office. But Trump would have had a game plan to deal with that. There would have been
Absolutely.
reserves we could have dipped into. There could have been legislation opened up to get more production out of certain places or open things up. But either this administration was too stupid to know that was going to happen, or complicit in it happening and there being no backup plan. And really, there's no other scenario.
Well, when you nuke all of the federal leases for oil, that's going to be an issue.
Amazing, right?
And it's going to be an issue. And, you know, now we're kind of in this corner where we rely on a lot of Russian oil. Well, now Russia is emboldened because he knows Biden's weak to go into Ukraine, which cuts our... Now we're breaking ties with them for oil. It's just... This whole push for green energy, I understand the desire to want to do that, but this fucking idiot did it without any intermediary plan. You can't cut everything off of an old technology and push everything into the new that people haven't adopted yet. Like, I understand reducing oil, but you gotta wait till that next set of technology is ready. That's why you see all these car companies pushing electric so hard so fast, because they feel pressured to. That's not the way to do things. That is not the way to do things. So now you got people scrambling trying to, see if they can afford these overpriced electric cars. When you accelerate with all these electric cars all of a sudden, that's put more stress on our already aging grid. That don't think that infrastructure bill that passed is going to have anything to do with fixing our aging infrastructure. Just the lack of forethought and critical thinking is fucking scary and bewildering to me, because that's our federal government.
Dude.
It's the people we surrender our money and power to.
They're not stupid people. Most of these people have been in politics their entire lives. They understand how many layers and how interconnected all this shit is. So either we have to take it at face value that they're ignorant idiots, fuck this up because of their incompetence, or they had a hand and were very complicit in making sure this stuff happened the way it happened.
Absolutely. That's
Literally,
very true.
there's no other possibility. That's it.
We should have a podcast.
No.
The Josh and Jerry podcast. Tim Pool, you better watch yourself. We're coming for you. Our ratings. We've got Josh Phillips watching. Josh, I hope you've been enjoying our banter here on the J Squared podcast, which is supposed to be gaming. Which, speaking of which,
I like that.
J Squared. I've been sitting at the Rocket League menu for now an hour, just kind of staring.
Two.
We should probably get into this. We need to unwrap a lot here when it comes to Rocket League, because
cutting a CDC vaccination card out right now with a very sharp knife and a straight edge. Christine is going to a concert. This will be the first time it's been put to use.
Oh, she's never been vaccinated, huh? I figured she'd be one to get vaccinated.
Yeah. There's a lot more. There's a lot more Hispanics than people think that are anti-Biden.
Well, that I know that to be true. I know the Hispanic vote went for Trump overwhelmingly.
Ironic, isn't it? It's almost like the opposite of what they told us.
Yeah, well, that's how Bush won in 2000. It was the whole Elian Gonzalez thing. And the Hispanics, that's kind of when the Hispanics left the Democratic Party overall and went Republican.
See if I can find a legitimate vaccine
Mr. Phillips, I
number
think
here.
I think you like it because you know it to be true, and it's refreshing to hear it from people instead of keeping it all to yourself. The stuff that we say, is almost scary to say in public now for, risk of being talked down to, yelled at, stabbed, shot, because it's reality. It really is. We live it. I'm so sick of people having to keep their mouths shut for sake of being ridiculed, talked down to. He switched to YouTube. Why? Ooh, branding.
You bought the Rocket Pass?
Yes. I didn't have to spend anything on it because we had enough credits from the last season. So this Rocket Pass is a Toon theme. Easily the most half-assed attempt for a variant I've ever seen. The map that we're sitting on, Neo Tokyo. So the whole gag with this is
that says something, dude. Now you're gonna gloss over what you just said.
Well, I'm not done saying it yet.
The most half-assed, because you've seen some half-assing before. these people?
Well, they said that it's a tune version. Like, they kind of like put a Borderlands-esque skin over it. But when you look at it, you can kind of see it, but it's nothing that makes it look toony to me. So, you know, let's actually dig into this. This is what we're going to do. We're going to go into a custom game, and we're going to compare the two. Okay? So let's go to 1v1, no bots. Jesus, there it is. Neo Tokyo. So we're going to go into the regular Neo Tokyo, all right?
Yep.
So we need to look at this really closely. All right, Mr. Phillips, thank you for tuning in as always. Hope we could bring some perspective and excitement to your day. We'll be here if you need us. All right, this is 1v1, so just hit auto. Okay, so let's... For one thing, it's raining on this one, and on the comic version, it's not. Did it take you with me?
No. I was waiting for you to notice that. I was just about to ask, should I be seeing something right now? Because not seeing anything right now.
Oh, that's right. Okay, I had to put it in private match, that's why. All right, do you see anything?
I'm loading in.
Okay. All right. So let's look.
This is a variant?
No. This is the original.
Okay, I was gonna say.
All right. So we need to look at every little nook and cranny here. I think
trying to take it in.
I think
Not
the
often that you
floor.
actually look at everything.
All right. So I'm looking at the ground, and you know it's wet and raining, so there's reflection. It's gonna kind of change the whole thing. I'm looking very closely at the walls, the curvature of the wall. And I'm looking at the lights. Okay, so the paint on the ground is kind of worn out.
Correct.
Okay, looking at the
Looks
scenery.
like rusty, worn outness.
Okay, let's look at center. All right, do you have a pretty good idea? Or do you need more time?
I think I'm good.
It's actually amazing the amount of detail you miss because you're driving around so fast all the time. The water looks really nice. By the way, there's really no PS5 version of Rocket League, so you're not going to see any difference whatsoever. Well, you can run it in HDR, that's about it. Loading times will be just as slow.
Where are you at with Hatchet? Played it all?
Yeah, I bit into it pretty well. So I'm working on getting the other piece of the Dimensionator. I've got the crystal for the Dimensionator, now I gotta get the other piece for it.
Have you, unlike the other Clank, the robot?
Kit.
Yeah.
Yep. Rivet and Kit.
You've gotten off of that wasteland area?
Oh my god, I 100%ed it.
Okay, all right. So
With the walking archive?
I just finished that area last time I played it.
So you're gonna
My God, man.
You're gonna switch back to Kit on the next one. The next one's gonna blow your fucking mind. Make sure you do them all in
produce
succession.
manager was telling me that like, just wait till you see that other robot. He wouldn't spoil it. He just said, wait, I'm just gonna say that that robot takes a different form. That's all I'm gonna say, and you're gonna be amazed. So I'm like playing it, and all of a sudden it kind of cuts to the little robot, and he just starts getting bigger. I was like, oh, this is what Struble was telling me about.
Yeah.
It's epic.
Well, Clank does the same thing too. In the earlier games, Clank transforms into that.
That's cool.
So there's a lot of lore in that map because that was the Lombax planet, and I got all the Lombax
Dude, I've done
orbs.
everything I can. Yep, me too.
And it's really cool because
And I felt so bad that I was doing it too fast, man. So like, I made myself stop because I was like, I'm just going through this too fast. I'm getting one orb after another, and it's like, no, I need to turn the game off.
well, I got every gold bolt so far that I can, everything. And listening to those orbs is really cool because you get a lot of lore under the Lombaxes that you never really knew about, and it explains a lot why he's so alone. It's because they all went to a different dimension, all of them, like, at once. So that's why Ratchet is by himself. And throughout the entire series, I've played all the games. It's a lot of games. The whole thing, I've always wanted to see where the Lombaxes were and see a Lombax planet. And they've never touched on that. And this is the closest game we've had to getting, you know, to the Lombaxes. I want to see a Lombax planet.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's why it's cool seeing Rivet, because Rivet is a female Lombax. We haven't seen a female Lombax before. And I actually have a secret crush on her. Just so you know. I really love Rivet.
I mean, I do too.
Like, I would date her as a Lombax. Yeah, but the next mission you're about to do with Rivet is, because they split up, Ratchet goes to one planet for the Dimensionator part, and then you go to the other. Make sure you do them in succession, you know, boom, 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 boom. Because you could skip the planets to do the other planet first. Just keep going in succession. And the gimmick that you're going to see in this next level is going to blow your mind. And boy, is it cool. Yeah, that game is just utterly phenomenal.
Did such an amazing job with it, man.
Yeah. Well, it's nice to have a game that you're playing too, so we can compare notes. Because it's usually me telling you how awesome a game is, and you just don't play it because you don't. So this is nice.
I don't understand how they do such a good job, man.
It's a Sony studio. Sony studios always do a good job. You know why? It's because Sony lets them do what they want. Why do you think Killzone and Horizon and Ratchet are so good? Consistently.
That's true.
And there's a contrast with the Sony studios versus the Microsoft studios. Because I've been reading a lot of articles where these Microsoft studios that they've been buying up are under a lot of stress and are being really pressured. And it's a detriment to the quality of the game, because it's like us with our jobs. And you can truly see when these studios are treated right and they give them the creative freedom to get it done, they don't rush, they just crank out masterpieces. And I got to get Horizon Forbidden West soon so I can have that on deck, because I'm itching to play that.
Yeah, I mean, it looks insane.
I mean, if Ratchet is any indication, I think we're going to be in for a mindfuck treat.
Yep, it looks absolutely epic.
Okay, so here we are for the comic variant. So, get the stock one in your head. Are you using your DualShock 4?
Not actually.
Ooh.
And I also have a bright pink S5 controller.
Why?
Christine wanted.
Oh.
Can play some, you know, 2-player.
Okay, that went nowhere. The game is protesting us already. Yeah, what are you and Christine gonna play? I want to hear this.
Oh my god, dude. She just texted me. A lady in Brunswick Forest is telling us and the homeowners there that the doctors told her that Roundup caused her leukemia. And I've been bombarded with phone calls and emails today about not spraying that while our tech is currently spraying. Joke, man. We started playing... Oh, fuck, man. What game was that? It's like a Mario Kart.
Wow,
Not Mario Kart.
That tells me nothing.
Oh, well, for fuck's sakes. Hang on.
Well, we're here. Let's take a look at the map now.
Sonic Racing.
Oh.
It's free. This is terrible, dude. Are you serious?
So you know what I
So
noticed?
basically, we have pavement, dry pavement with better paint.
Yeah, it looks like it was repainted. Fresh
Yep.
coat of paint.
And the background appears to be identical, even the names of the places, because I looked at those.
So look at the arrows. You can see scuff
And
marks.
nothing in the background's been changed. It's literally just the surface. It's the play surface, which, mind you, hasn't really been changed.
Yeah, it's just
been
not
painted
raining.
better.
So they turned off the rain and they made the surface look brand new and they call it a day. Like the walls don't look any different.
Wow.
But if you go up here where the lights are, you can see a whole bunch of scuff marks. Which are not
Yeah, I do.
in the original. I
What
mean,
a
it's...
fucking joke.
Yeah.
Almost rammed you. I had to jump you. I'm
So let's go to the
disgusted.
Center. Yeah, that sucks because they could have done a lot of cool things with this theme. They could have made like a cartoon map. All right. Dude, at least on the last one with Starbase Arc, it was visibly different. So the Rocket Pass car for this one is very strange. And I really didn't like it because it has such a short wheelbase.
It looks like it does. Okay, let me get Rocket Pass.
Well, you'll be disappointed. There's really nothing in the first 12 tiers that are worth mentioning. Kernovi said the Nomad's really good. I actually watched a video of him the other day.
Here are you at?
I'm at tier 4. So I tried to make like a tune theme with my car here.
Oh, I'm gonna try this fucking Nomad out first.
I mean, it's really tall, which is good. But when you... So it's so short that when you flip, it feels very stubby. I mean, you may like it. And it might have just been the time that I was playing. But, you know, I guess I'll equip that too, since you are. Be a little united on that one. Trying to find a paint job that fits. Something toonish. Patchwork is pretty good. Did you see your rewards?
Yeah. Which I'll probably never look at again.
Nam said he's got his season rewards done for this one already.
What the fuck? How?
Well, he's home all the time. God, I don't think even if I was home all the time, I could bear that.
No, I couldn't.
Ooh, yeah. The hatch traction wheels work perfectly for this theme. Tell me what you think of that, the wheels.
Very nice, actually.
I'm trying to find a topper that's somewhat close. Dizzy Birds actually works because that's a cartoon thing.
Got all kinds of colored hatches.
My game just froze.
Really? Doesn't happen often.
Probably the update. All right, let's try this again. Oh, that's good. It didn't save anything. That makes sense. This game is just getting way too bloated.
Agreed. Not agree more.
All right, so I wanted Toon Hatch.
Manga Bolt works really good. Dude, I'm digging mine right now.
Is there a Toonie Rocket Trail?
Hack Swerve could kind of be.
I think Yokai is as close as it's gonna get. So what is the stock engine sound for this thing? Oh my god, it sounds so strange.
Were they going for a hippie van? Like, what?
I really don't know. They don't typically hit for what they're looking for. They haven't done a good job theming as of late.
And I don't understand why that's hard to do.
Alright. See what our challenges are. Play 10 online matches in casual, earn MVP honors, win 5 online matches, competitive. Oh, pretty samey. All right, stand by. Got me some barbecue pistachio kernels.
Nice.
Mmm. Boy, those are good. Pistachios are a sin. I'm in the item shop right now. There's some really... They have red pixelated multi-chrome shades.
Love how the game really isn't any faster on the PS5 either.
No, not at all.
Actually, I do like those pixelated shades.
It's almost got like
Crimson
a...
Astro CSXs are pretty wild.
They are. They're very vibrant.
I'm
Not
gonna
for
get the
$9.
Octane Uzi decal.
All right, you do that. I'll get the painted
for
pinata.
for my Octane. I'm buying Octane specific stuff. Ooh, Women's History Month. What do we got here? Ooh, yeah. Some player anthems. Did you download these?
I'm still waiting for it to load.
I would be sure not to download those, just out of principle.
Oh, these are actual songs?
Yeah. Do you know how much they spent on that? Yeah, 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 yeah. What's going on?
Dude, last year at least we got those really cool Moonpaw wheels.
Dude, I wish we could upload our own songs for our anthems. And you know what I would record? I would record myself on a really hot day where your sack's hanging low. And I would pull my pants down, spread my legs, just gyrate my hips back and forth so it smack like that. That would be my fucking player anthem.
You could do that on PS3 because PS3 had that functionality.
Well, that would be my player anthem. It'd be like the Gay History Month would love it. Nut sack slappity slap is what I'd call it.
I love how all of this extra shit like Latino Month, Women Month, like all started within the last couple years. Like Black History Month has always been a thing. But didn't they have to like tack on every other minority?
Mm-hmm.
And look, I'm okay if you want to do that, but you got to do it for everybody. You need to make a Caucasian month. We've struggled too, just not as recently.
We've built the fucking world, man. What's going
Yeah,
on?
let's remind everybody of how hard everything was for all these other people so we can just dig up all of these feelings that shouldn't actually be felt. Let's get everybody fired up by, you know, singling their race out and giving them the synthetic chip on the shoulder to get them all pissed off. Yeah, let's do that. I didn't know I was oppressed until Latino History Month became a thing, and then they told us how oppressed we were, and now I'm just gonna feel it even though we're not. Damn whiteys. Alright. I don't even know where we start. What do we play?
That beats the fuck out of me, man. Maybe with some twos to get warmed up.
The question is, who's over there on the D-Live side? Somebody's watching us on D-Live, lurking. Who's lurking on D-Live?
It turns better than I thought it would.
It's weird because it's so stubby.
Just weird looking.
Okay, I got that.
I was actually gonna miss that right there.
Like,
With the
flipping
length.
is weird because it's so short. Okay, let this rebound.
Got this.
I got this.
Aw.
I knew he was gonna do that. So that fucker's the carrier. I'm the day girl. Or birthday girl. Yep.
Sucks, man. I didn't expect that pass. To play it in the corner. Well, it bounced off your car. Thought it bounced off the wall like that. I was wondering how that happened.
Yeah, because it got blown the fuck up and I respawned there. Oh, that was nice. That was a nice pool shot.
A latency issue. I didn't even get credit for a pull shot. That's some
It's
bullshit.
because you, yeah, it's because you pool shotted me.
Should count.
Okay, rotating out. At net. Birthday girl's there to carry.
Damn it, man, I couldn't get one more push on it.
That's actually a female. This is really bizarre.
Got that shit down. Dude, I think quite a few girls play this game in proportion to other games. Oh,
Yeah, it's so they can stream it and get a lot of money from their fucking boobs.
their tits hanging out. And you know, I'd probably do the same thing.
Dude, I
Had a
can't
nice
stand
set of
watching
tits.
female streamers because of that. They get so much notoriety just because
And they
they're
won't
female.
even be attractive.
Yet
Some of
they're
them aren't even attractive.
Yet they're oppressed. Female History Month, they're oppressed.
Center. Oh, I tried 50
She's gonna
on that
redirect
bitch.
that.
Oh!
I got it.
She took that. My God, what an OP hit.
Yeah, the carry is absurd. It's probably her, like, 8-year-old brother that's playing. And it's her birthday. Yeah, dude, the other player's dreadful. Like, literally must be a small kid playing. Oh, I had to. Let her use up all of her fucking estrogen.
Oh, I don't really have any boost.
All right, I'm at mid. Yeah, you're clear. That other guy's gonna miss everything. So don't, like, hold back because you think he's gonna hit it.
Should be on.
Yep, nice one.
Originally, I wasn't going to hit that at net, but I was like, well, no one's back there. Not sure how this car hits balls yet, but
I'm sure
Good
you
shot.
looked at the score already.
oh, yes.
It's pretty terrible.
I'm going to have to reset my router after this.
Damn it. That might be right for you. No. Okay.
What? Oh my God. She just happened to be driving through it to save your being up right there. I meant to reset my router earlier. I've been having some internet issues today.
Shit. That's in.
That is an absolutely obscene carry to start the day. Like,
I'm gonna start talking.
Real.
Just to start some shit.
Just don't understand the enjoyment.
Okay, she,
How can that be enjoyable?
I don't know.
Can't catch it.
Yeah, that other guy's not gonna do anything either. I'm not gonna go for that. I'll go for this. Superhuman's there.
In champ. She's got to be champ.
That's gonna be in.
Uh. Wow, she missed that on my screen and I hit it. I wasn't even having a latency pop up on that. Showed me hitting the ball. Next thing I know, the camera zooms back out and the ball's going towards our goal. Almost 1,000 points.
There.
All right, I'm here. Reset my router. I'll be right back.
Okay. I'll put us on a BRB.
It's getting colder, and I'm the storm that's taking over.
Jacob, is that you over on D Live? No, it's Panda Dude. That answers my question. Oh, these pistachios are diabolical. How goes it, Panda? Bit of a downtime right now. Josh is trying to get his shit figured out.
You hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. Let's see if that does the trick.
Well, if it doesn't, there's really nothing you can do. Misclick, Panda? Would you misclick? Alright, let's see if we can get an actual game in without latency. Oh, look, we got last season's map, ironically.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think?
A little too ironic.
You know, normally when I have internet issues, we have a hard time hearing each other, and we're not having that.
Yeah, actually, quite the opposite.
So, okay. This is going to be some superhuman little fuck bag.
Yep.
Fuckbaggery is real today, people.
Naked Octane.
Naked Octane.
OEM wheels. Yep.
Dude,
Biggest sign
Naked
of a
Octane
raging
with
dick.
OEM wheel. Yes. Absolutely. Raging.
I'm not even gonna try and work anything on this. I want to see how crazy these guys are.
Latency issues again. I wonder if it's... or what it is, man.
Oh, I'm
Streaming YouTube all morning with no issue.
hope it's not your PS5. It's really the only
And I've
difference.
tested my internet connection on my PS5. It's great. Better than my PS4 with speeds. I mean, that was when I hooked it up. I haven't tested it today. But I haven't changed anything.
I mean, it could just be Rocket League.
That's what I'm wondering.
But I feel like if that was the case, I would be feeling it too.
Testing my connection.
Yeah, you're spiking again. It's almost as if there's something else running in your
Because I'm
house.
testing my internet.
Is there anything running in the background?
No, dude, nothing's on. I'm the only one here.
Huh.
$65 download. I don't think I could get my PS4 to show anything higher than like 20. Waiting on the upload still. Shit takes forever on here. Yeah, I've got nothing else running. I just checked TV in the bedroom. My Fire Stick is not playing anything. And 11 download. Or upload, sorry. 65 down, 11 upload, and that's with the game running. Oh, I've probably been booted.
No. The guys quit out.
So it's got to be Rocket League.
But if it's Rocket League, it would be me too.
I would think so.
Well, there's a great many people playing 2v2. Let's try 3v3. Let's see if it's the playlist. All right, back at nets. Little Cannoli is going to be the carrier. Yeah, he's the little Fennec fag. Showing off his platinum badge. Platinum goal explosion.
Already set the high, man.
Oh. Yeah, I'm at mid.
Ah, short ass car, man. Couldn't get that on my flip.
Yeah, the flipping
Needs
is
a little more length, man.
it's a very weird feeling when you flip.
Got
'Cause you're used to kind of like a paddle slap, you know?
Right.
How's your game running?
Okay at the moment.
And that's with
But
two
it
more players.
Does run okay. Nope, there it is. Latency variation.
Wow, that is, yeah. And that is typical of when someone is eating up your bandwidth.
Oh god, that's terrible. Don't understand what the issue is.
Yeah, looks like you lost connection.
Yeah, it's terrible. Don't know. Googling right now. If there's any issues with PS5 and Rocket League. There are definitely people saying the same thing as me.
You're saying that the PS5 version is lagging?
There are people saying the same thing as me.
Is your PS4 still handy?
It is in. It's in my truck right now, and Christine has my truck because I have her car because I was gonna touch up her plasti dip today.
Oh, well, that sucks.
which is a moot point anyway, because in a half hour I have a doctor's appointment.
Okay.
I would love to know.
Well, I haven't really played this game much on
have-
PS5.
I would love to see, if you have some time at some point, I would love to see if you have the same issue. I want to do a little digging. I'm just going to hook my PS4 back up, and I'll just put it on my bottom shelf. But I think I'm going to need another Ethernet cable. Although I don't even have to have my PS5 Etherneted for now anyway. I'm not doing anything with it that it would even need an Ethernet cable.
Nope.
But yeah, I just read somebody that said they had 95 download and 16 up, and they're having terrible latency.
and
I don't understand.
The thing that sucks about it is they advertise it as a PS5 version. When you look at Rocket League and it shows on the bottom of the screen what platforms it's on, it says PS5, which is not true. It will play on it, but it's not made for it. I hate it when companies do that. There's no legit PS5 version of this game. And I think that might have a lot to do with it.
Oh, some people are saying restart PS5, not rest mode, but restart might be an address problem. Fixed it for me.
You put yours in standby?
Mine's been in standby a ton.
I never put any of my consoles in standby mode for stuff like that. I've always had some sort of issue if you leave it in standby, because you're technically not turning it off.
I had good luck with my PS4. I mean, I would reboot it every now and then, but I mean, the thing for me is like unless if we're gaming, I don't turn my console on a lot. So if I don't leave it in standby, there's a chance that I'm going to start it and there's going to be a huge update, and then I'm going to be fucked because I got to try to download and install this update, and then maybe a game update for Rocket League, or you know what I mean? So it's always been
I hear
handy,
you.
but I can start
Did you
I'm
turn your
rebooting
console
right
off
now.
yet?
I just did.
Okay. Yeah, dude, standby mode's and the thing is, the PS5 doesn't need it. The whole reason standby mode was a thing on PS4 is to cut down on boot up time. PS5 doesn't have boot up time.
Right.
It's not necessary. Unless you want to see pretty orange glow. I mean, it's not going to take... It might take time to download the update, but it's not going to take as much time to install as it would on a PS4 on a PS5.
Oh, it boots up fast as fuck, man.
And that's good, because now you've rebooted it after you've rebooted everything else, so... Actually gonna grab another monster.
Two.
You there?
I am.
I'm gonna emulate my downstairs neighbor, okay? You ready?
That a puke?
I don't know what it is. It is not a puke. It is more of like a gagging. Dude, I hear it clear as day, and it's all the time. I mean, he is fat and unhealthy, so... I'm sure that has a lot to do with it.
I have a pretty heavy set downstairs lady that very nice, but man, she's got a cough that you'd think she's dying, and she doesn't smoke or anything, and it just comes out of nowhere, man, and you can hear it perfectly.
It's so weird. I want to
Now,
go
cool
down there.
thing about the invite on the PS5, if you hit the PlayStation button,
It doesn't suck.
no, it pops right up on your screen. It doesn't take you back to the main menu.
Yeah,
You can
it
just
just-
hit join.
That's
It's
really
even
nice.
easier than using the R2.
Well, it's the way it should have been from the
Scrolling
very
over.
beginning.
Yeah, dude, it was so wonky. Like going all the way the fuck back to the main menu.
Yeah, have you done any of the hints yet? Like for looking for gold bolts
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff? Isn't
Dude,
that
it
neat?
works really good for the gold bolts.
Like it tells you how much time it takes, how much time you have left to earn these things. That's crazy. All right. Let's see if this does the trick. All right, we got a Fennec boy on our team.
All right.
I was trying to screw him up. Okay, rotating out.
I just got walloped.
Matt Net.
Fennec took me out like he was hitting a ball. So as you can imagine, it smashed the fuck out of me with how OP they are. So far, so good.
Okay, rotating to middle. Oh boy.
Killing.
Got a piece of that.
Been up in the mid.
Fucking asshole. Okay, I'm back in our end. You guys are up. I got it.
Jesus. Ah, that was high.
Okay, Fennec boys got it. I'll try and recover this.
This has a terrible flow.
Oh yeah, it does.
Oh, there it is. Latency.
While the other guy's getting it to...
Yeah, he is.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, yep. People rubber banding now. What's weird is, like, when I do get the latency, like, the game really doesn't even act that weird. The times it acts the most weird is, just when the ping
Oh, that little...
ping spikes and it
fuck.
doesn't say anything. And everybody's just rubber banding around.
How'd this bullshit pan out?
Oh my god, dude. That was like a flip reset.
Well, yeah, he's the one with the bad ping, and he's got all these points. It's like a fucking superhuman. Our Fennec guy is terrible for having a Fennec.
It's fitting, though.
It is. He's pushing forward.
They get a superhuman, and we get a piece of shit. It's doing fucking flip resets.
Okay, I'm at net. I'll take this. And I'm dead. It's okay. This guy finished it. Dude, that Gangster guy's a real homo. Gangster 1708.
Didn't have it any other way. Oh, that hit the slope.
They got boost in the corner, back at net.
Fucking miraculous save.
Guys up. Damn it.
Oh, miraculous save. Jesus Christ, man.
Was that a save or did he miss?
Oh, he saved. A ridiculous save.
The
Gonna
good
add a
guy?
nice shot.
I got this. Nope.
Yes.
No, the superhuman
Yep,
got it
it was-
before I did.
It was a Easter.
Yeah, so he's gonna hit everything. You fucking asshole. And he has a bad ping. Makes sense.
Ping only got bad that one time. About 15 seconds worth.
I'm at net. This is good. Coming up center. Whoa. Okay, did not even...
Our teammate just scored that.
How the fuck did this guy...
Bad ping. The other guy's is crazy bad right now too. So weird, man.
He must be on a PS5 or something. Because that makes sense. PS5 running the PS4 code somehow. Yeah, let's see what kind of faggery he does on the
That
wall
dude's
here.
done fucking everything. Look at this shit. Another flip reset. Freestyle goal.
Yeah, let's start some shit. How do you like the car?
I'm gonna go fuck himself. I mean, I don't mind it. I don't know if I love it, but I don't mind it.
It feels better than when I first played with it. You know, and the more I think about it, the more pissed off I get at how much more they could have done for this season, because this is a really cool theme. They could have done a map that was all, like, cartoon sketch with, like, a cartoon background. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's just real bummer. Like, I can picture the background like a meadow. I mean, the animation they did to announce this season was off the charts. Like, it was an awesome cartoon animation, and if that style would have carried over into the actual game, it would have been phenomenal.
Oh, leave it to Rocket League to disappoint. I'm gonna do a little bit more digging on this PS5 issue, but I'm just gonna get my PS4 hooked up most likely. I am gonna be off the weekend. I'm doing vendor receiving starting Wednesday. So I'm gonna be doing like 5 to 3. That'll be from Wednesday to Tuesday and off the weekend, but you're gonna have inventory.
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff.
Well,
I mean, we can play in the afternoons.
yeah, we should be able to get some afternoon streams in. Christine's gonna be gone the whole weekend, so it would have been nice if you were gonna be able to play. But
Well, life would never allow that.
no, I was about to say the same thing. All right, I'm off to get to my medical checkup here. See if I'm dying. Have a heart rate of 600 because of the monsters I've drank.
And you'll somehow still be alive.
Yeah, I'll be like dozing off later. I'm immune to them, I think.
All right, let me get us off the air. Not that, I mean, dude, we're streaming so early, no one's here to watch. On 3-4 different platforms. I think I'm really shocked by the whole Facebook thing. And this kind of plays into my theory that because of how right-wing I am, Facebook really just puts mute on me. Because, dude, when we stream on Facebook, everyone that's friends with me looks at our stream when they go through their feed. So if we're on Facebook and nobody tunes in, that means that we're not being shown to people. On the other hand, you look at Christine's brother, who specifically streams on Facebook because he doesn't have that issue, and I'm sure he's real left-wing too. I'm not sure if you can confirm or deny that.
I don't think he is, man.
I don't know, just from what you told me, it really leans that way. But
Yeah, he doesn't really talk politics much, but I know he's into the conspiracy realm a little bit. Political pedophiles and shit.